Romani how to please, ma'am, please introduce yourselves and basically they are here to have their doubts cleared regarding HUL and how to get into HUL. So let's start.
Yeah, okay. So first of all, hello everyone. Good evening and real sincere apologies for making you change the channel. I know we are running 15 minutes late, but it's fine. We'll make up for that. And introduction about myself, I graduated from NIT Rourkela in dual degree chemical engineering this year itself in June. And currently I'm working as a supply chain trainee with a designation as assistant management trainee in HUL.
So I have
Vishatma,
actually
on
got
to
a
you.
yeah, actually I have got a lot of questions from them, and so I will do basically the basic questions that everyone is having. So let me ask you by myself only. So they are
Mhm.
asking that what was the process last year for appearing for HUL, the profile and for the process last year.
Okay, the profile that HUL had offered last year is the same as they have offered this year as well. It is the same supply chain trainee. And the process, we say HUL did not have any kind of online test or GD because the process was entirely a virtual. The first step towards that was the CV shortlisting, followed by one interview, which is of the HR, followed by two technical interviews. So on and all, this was the process.
Good points they should include so that their CV gets shortlisted for the further rounds. So if you can just guide them on that.
Okay. Before answering this particular question, Visatma, I would want to know from. Okay, fine. The PCs will inform you about that. Anyway, yeah. For the CV thing, since it was a CV shortlisting, and they have specifically asked for a non-technical CV. So the main thing that they want to know is that your CV should have a mix of all the flavors. I mean, it's not just academics. It should have your internships, a good internships. It should have your extracurriculars. It should have your hobbies, and most important factor is that you should be very thorough with your CV. Do not lie, okay? Because they can actually judge you on the basis of that. They'll catch you. Um, and even if they have mentioned it should be a non-technical CV, that does not mean you're not going to mention about your projects or your internship. At least mention one particular one line description about each of your project or each of your internship. Focus on the extracurricular activity, whatever you have done in the last 3 years, 4 years. Mention that properly. Uh, and about CG, there's not there are no they won't actually mention anywhere what is the CG cutoff, but yeah, they'll definitely look up to for CG more than 7.5 at least. That's the minimum.
Okay, so if you, people who want to know about what is the good CV, like this is the idea that ma'am actually gave regarding the CV, that last time what they were looking in the CV, and it should be a multifaceted CV and not a like a monochrome kind. So I will be also sharing the perfect CV examples in the Telegram channel so that you can have a view what a perfect CV for supply management looks like, or what all should assets you should put in it. Basically, this today's session is about what is supply management. The first thing that we got texted, or what is supply chain management. So first, I will ask Ms. Romani to basically, as a supply chain trainee, she what is the task that she does in her day-to-day job. So, ma'am, if you can kindly throw some light on that.
Yeah. So talking about what supply chain basically is, now look, talking specifically about HUL. HUL is a product based company. It gives product. It doesn't provide any kind of service. So take whatever product, for example, say a Tresemme shampoo or any Lakme product or Pepsodent or anything. Such products, they have to be made right from the raw materials in the factory. They have to be transported all the way from the factory to the depot, and then from the depot to the warehouses to the people finally when it reaches you. So this entire process of a product being produced at one point and reaching you people as the final consumer, this entire process which is being managed is by the team which is known as the supply chain. So when we students are being recruited as supply chain trainee, we can be posted in any of these, like whether it's there in a factory where you'll be looking after the production of a particular item, or you are in the planning department who will decide as to what product will go to which place, which product from which factory should go to which area, or maybe in the customer service part of the supply chain where you will see to it that the product should reach the final consumer at the end. So this entire process is supply chain, and this is what is the work of a supply chain trainee. This is like a nutshell in a nutshell.
I will also request Debashish if he can also throw some light in his as his role as is like as per his role in the supply chain team, he can throw some light into the supply chain in case of ITC Infotech.
Okay. Yeah, as Miss Romani said, the entire process is just the similar. The supply chain doesn't vary, but as hers is a product-based industry, ITC Infotech generally deals with services. So we generally provide services to various industries, whether it is in hospitality sector, to banking finance, to various other sectors, healthcare. Every sector is being served by ITC, and the ITC Infotech generally deals with all the types of uh, its customers, whoever comes to it or whoever are the clients to this company, and we generally deal with their problems, their day-to-day problems, like whether it is related to somewhat like assignment problems or transportation problems. The same thing, it all only goes through the like various management roles. Like operation research is a subject that is being taught to the MBA grads. So there, the students generally go through the various ways in which the problems can be solved. The various an optimum solution can be given to any particular problem. So that is the thing they should be looking for whenever you are trying to go for any of the supply chain management roles, and have a bit of idea about that. That will help the students.
So I guess that it's kind of a techno managerial role that the students need to excel in. So I will now request Ms. Romani to basically explain her interview process because the personal interviews were quite hectic. I guess 2 to 3 were there. So if you can just give them an idea regarding what all happened in the process.
Yeah, so actually, the first interview that I had, as I mentioned, was the HR interview. Usually HR interview last को होता है, but इस company में पहले हुआ, थोड़ा उल्टा खोपड़ी का है. So the HR interview, it lasted for nearly like 30 minutes or so, with obviously a proper introduction about yourself, and then she just asked, just for formality, a small explanation about the current project that I was doing. Second, she asked me about a little bit about my internships, just to get an idea whether I was bluffing in my CV or not. Next, as because it was a supply chain profile, supply chain trainee profile, and because I am a girl, she very explicitly asked me whether I agreed to work in any part of India if ever posted. Okay. Then she moved on to about my club culture in my college, what all clubs I was a part of during these 5 years. And then she asked me about other responsibilities that I have taken during these 5 years. She asked me about my strengths and my weaknesses. Then she asked me about what? Yeah, she also asked me about this. This was the last question she asked me. Is what was my personality development in these 5 years? I guess that was an important one. It lasted for a long time. We discussed. See about HR interview.
You can tell about your interview experience for the supply chain role.
So I will be starting from the very basic. There was an online test for ITC Infotech, and it was for all the four profiles: the software, the CIO services, the data scientist, and the supply chain management. All the four, and it was a bit of like aptitude plus coding. So you have to basically attend one coding question at least to get shortlisted for the next round. And there were around 40 to 50 students who were shortlisted for the next round. And going into the next round, it was a technical interview and it was segregated based on the profile you were selected for. So the first thing that you need to do is make your resume according to the role you are applying for. For example, you are going for a particular interview, whether that is analytics, whether that is core, or whether that is for some other profile, you need to modify your resume accordingly. You should not go with a analytics CV to a core job or a supply chain management job. So basically, students get confused that whether supply chain management is indulged with a core profile or an analytics profile. So clearing that, it is neither core nor analytics. You have to manage stuff in this thing, and you have to prove your caliber in how you can deal situations as well as how you can lead a team. So basically, it's about managing situations and managing various business problems. So you can relate business problems to case studies and various other stuffs that are related to analytics. Yeah, those may help in the preparation because the first thing that they ask in the interview is a puzzle or a case study that you have to answer. Following which they will jump into the core, basic core, and there is a subject, as I had already mentioned, operations research, which generally deals with various problems. Like you must have gone through LPP, that is linear programming problem, in the 12th, that thing. Then coming to the transportation problem, assignment problem, CPM, the critical path method, PERT. All these subjects are means all these topics come under the subject of operation research. You, if you have a bit of idea regarding this, this will help you a lot. And another thing is you have to run your own interview. Means you should not give the interviewer chance to interrupt and ask you questions from his side, and you should let him know whatever you know on a particular topic. For example, if you are knowing a particular thing, you should tell it on your own during the introduction itself. So, for example, sir, I have done this, so that he can continue from there on. If you let him a chance to ask, then he can ask from any abstract topic and you have to answer it. So this is one thing you should be concerned about when you are attempting for any particular interview, and something you are not comfortable. If so, you are not comfortable, you can handle it in this way. So this was the basic that I followed, and I just tried to stick to the basics, and I just answered the questions that I knew, and I just tried to deviate the interview to the topic in which I was capable of, or I was capable of answering. So prior to this, he asked me further few questions on coding. That is whether I was comfortable with SQL and other RTBMS tools. And following which, he asked me whether I know any particular coding language, to which I replied that I had a year in C++ during my first year, so I have a very basic idea regarding that. So this was my complete technical interview thing. And following which, there was a HR interview. HR interview can be anything. They can ask you anything regarding the company. They can ask you any abstract topic. For example, in the HR interview, I was asked about how does an induction motor start. This question is a very basic question. You people must have known this if you would have gone through Three Idiots, but you should not be answering it in that.
Good, okay, as per Devashish, you can unmute yourself, I guess.
Sorry, where I was, Biswatma, before I.
You told about the Three Idiots thing of Three Idiots definition of machine.
Yeah. So he asked me regarding how does an induction motor start, but not to make fun in the interview and not to show yourself as smart or cool in the interview. You can either answer the way that starts, or if you don't know, you can say don't know. So either answered that I didn't know the answer. Even the HR was laughing on it because she thought that I must be answering something funnier. but I didn't make a fun out of there, and I just tried to be normal as possible. And then she asked me regarding the company, and before going to the HR interview, I made a bit preparation. And this is the place where the means PPT works. Generally, people are quite means sleepy or means not that interested in listening to the PPTs. But in case you are attentive to the PPT of the company, then you get a prior idea like what they do, what are the various sectors they deal with, what's their current revenue, and each and everything related to the company. So if you can throw 2 to 3 stats from those, like what's their annual revenue, what's the current situation of the company, how many employees are currently employed in the company, then that gives you a means better advantage over the other students who are competing for the same role. So this is how you can stand uh, ahead of the other competitors who are means competing for the same role. Over to you, Mr.
Yeah, Devashish, actually, someone has asked in the chat section that what kind of coding questions were asked by ITC Infotech. Is it like in the online there were coding questions and interview thing?
Okay. Generally, whatever coding questions are asked, whether it is for ITC Infotech or whether it is for any other IT analytics or even for software companies, generally students have a very misconception that the coding is something that we cannot do. Basically, saying coding is not something that means very hard to crack or one cannot crack. Coding questions vary with 3 difficulty levels. One is easy, medium, and difficult. Uh, in the coding questions, no company asks for all the 3 difficult questions or all the 3 medium level questions. There must always be a easy question supported with a medium question if they are going for a 40 to 45 minutes test, coding test. Or if in case it is a 1 hour test, there must be 2 to 3 medium level questions. Never a company asks a hard level question in a online test. So keeping it simple, you should try solving the means easy question, because that must not be taking a long time or a very difficult logic to crack that answer. So you can try for that in case you don't get to know the medium level question. So this is a way in which you can solve at least one question. uh, and okay, what is was it MCQ type or pseudocode or type in code for a particular question? Okay, fine. It was a type in code for the question, and there are questions. There are companies in which they ask pseudocode or MCQ type questions, but in case of ITC Infotech, it was a in code question.
Okay, thanks, Devashish. So now Miss Romani can definitely throw some light on her technical interviews, like the 2 technical interviews. Are you connected?
Yes, yes. Am I audible now?
Yeah, you're audible.
Yeah. I would just like to add one more thing. As Debashish had already mentioned, that in HR interview, it will be an added advantage to the students if you do a prior research about the company that you're sitting for. In HUL, HR interview is more important. It was a crucial step because there were students who were eliminated just after the HR interview itself. Okay, so for that, I would like to say that when you are attending the HR interview, make sure you are confident of yourself, because I know the person who will be taking your HR interview, she is smart. She's really smart. She can get hold of you in case you are fumbling, you are lying, you're looking here and there. So be confident in whatever you say. Be look look straight. Okay, have a positive aura around you. That's very important. Make sure you.
I think the voice is breaking.
Hello.
Hello. Now the voice is breaking.
Yeah. Okay. Be particular about the HR interview. Coming to the technical interview, yes, they'll start off with your internships. They'll definitely ask about a proper explanation of your internships, what all project you have done, what all things you have learned over there, and from your internships itself, questions will be. For example, you in a refinery or somewhere like that, they'll ask you questions about what you have seen. For example, they ask you about cooling tower, how does a cooling tower work? Basically, the technical interview, they won't just ask you about
I guess your voice is breaking. Like I think, is it for everyone? Uh, you can start again. I guess the voice was breaking.
the
Hello. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
where
Okay. The
till
voice.
what could you hear?
Nah, that technical interview, that cooling tower and all. I guess everyone heard.
Huh. So what I meant to say is they won't just ask you questions about definitions or different laws, but what they'll majorly focus is the applications of those things in your daily life. For example, how does a refrigerator work? How does an air conditioner work? How does a plane fly? You know, and they'll ask you these questions, and from how does a plane fly to things like mechanics, fluid dynamics, and all those stuff. You have to have a proper idea about
Ma'am, your voice is
Voice
breaking
is
actually.
not audible.
hello.
Now it's audible. You can that a plain thing. You can say that ask questions starting from plain to after that it was not audible. I guess to everyone.
Okay. No, what I was saying is they can ask you how does a plane fly, and from there they'll delve into fluid mechanics, fluid dynamics. That's how they'll just pick up any random thing you see in your life outside you, wherever, and then they'll ask you how what is the mechanical thing behind it, what's the chemical thing behind it. That's how the question goes. In the interview, 60 minutes, 50 minutes, they'll
Okay, so, ma'am, actually, since your voice is breaking, I just want to ask, like, with both the technical rounds, like, eliminatory kind, or it was like just for after the HR round, there was elimination, and after that, everyone had to face both the technical rounds, or any of the technical round was kind of elimination.
both were elimination rounds, Vishatma.
Okay, so since both are the elimination rounds, definitely that technical knowledge about your branch would definitely play an important role. And it's like from basics to advanced, I think in the interview they'll proceed and test every aspect. So, ma'am, whether it's like for since last time it had visited for chemical and electrical,
Mhm.
so about the technical round, it's like were they asking you in some other domain, like not sticking to your chemical only, to other domains like suppose other electrical questions like Devashish mentioned about they asked him about induction motor. So anything like that, did they ask, or it was like quite simple sticking to your course and curriculum only?
They will absolutely stick to your core and curriculum. If you are a person from a chemical background, so a person from a chemical background only will ask you questions. Similarly for other branches as well.
Okay, so Ekta is asking that there were how many students were actually had applied for HUL, and after the okay, we will like everyone will apply. That's not the thing, but I guess from CV shortlisting, if Romani ma'am can actually give the total number, how many of them attended the HR interview?
11.
11, right? After that, like how they went on rejecting, like 11 out of 11 technical were, can give us
9
an idea?
people. 9
9
people.
people.
Yeah.
Okay. So, any question, anything else? But for the technical thing, I guess this is the preparation should be from your course and curriculum. And
Absolutely.
yeah, ma'am, actually, a few questions people had whether they were asking any supply management kind of stuff during the interviews.
No, they do not expect you to have any extra knowledge about supply chain or anything of that sort. Have an idea about the company and have a thorough understanding of your subject matter. That's all.
Okay, that's definitely helpful. And any other question, you can obviously use the chat section so that you can answer. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, he is asking any idea about what kind of questions can be asked for an electrical engineer. Okay,
No, I.
Mahesh.
Yeah.
Okay, I will be consulting Mahesh those who are, went to the technical round, and I will be letting you know. So everything will be available in. Okay, Shivangi is asking time difference between all three interviews. So what happened last year may not happen this year, but still you can give an idea of how is the time duration of the interviews and at what gap, like after a week or 2 weeks, if possible.
I had my first HR interview. After my HR interview, there was a gap of nearly 3 weeks. For 3 weeks, I had absolutely no news that my next interview will be scheduled. Then suddenly, at one day at around 4 p.m., getting the news that my first technical interview is at 6.
I guess that last year it was quite the interview process was quite not that formal kind of thing. It was like they were conducting with us. So this time it may not be the case, like the interviews and thing. So about the time difference won't matter. So basically you have to prepare for the entire three processes at a time. So don't have the mindset that the interviews will be I will crack the HR then. Okay, so what kind of
Absolutely, you're right.
then, Maheshwara, what kind of project is advisable to mention in CV? Technical or not? Okay, this is a good question, ma'am. So Mahesh is asking that whether the projects to mention in the CV will be means completely technical, or it should be like completely non-technical. What will be view on this?
I would say that if you're applying for course companies, then yes, if you have a technical interview, then it's definitely better. It'll give you an edge over the others. But whether you have an industrial or an academics, it doesn't matter.
Okay, so any other question among you?
Okay, Ramya's question.
Okay, okay, this is a good question. You can answer it.
Yeah. Is it possible to change department from supply chain to R&D after training? No, Ramya. If you have been taken as a supply chain trainee, which means you will have to complete your training in supply chain, post which you have to work in supply chain, and at least for the next, you say, 5 to 6 years, you cannot change from supply chain to R&D. Within supply chain, you can interchange, but no, you cannot go to R&D at least in the next 5 to 6 years.
And Ekta has another question like, what are the core values of HUL that they look for in a person?
What kind of values are you talking about, Ekta? I mean, is it like personal values or uh, knowledge or what?
Interpersonal.
Interpersonal values. Nothing. It's just that you should be fluent in your speaking. You should be fluent with that. Uh, have a personality that you can talk to a group of people without stammering.
Okay, good question. Whether they asked any case study or guesstimate type of questions during the interview?
No, they did not ask any kind of such questions. Questions were absolutely technical based.
Okay, as a suggestion, guys, this year it's being observed that even core companies are asking guesstimates in their HR interviews and other phases of the interview. So be ready with at least basic guesstimate preparation and case study preparation. You may not be a like pro like in going to a consulting company, but definitely you should have a basic knowledge of how to solve an case study or guesstimate. That will be very
Yeah,
helpful because core
here I
companies are.
just want to
Yeah,
interrupt,
Javash.
Mr.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh, Even in case of estimates and case studies, you need not figure out the correct answer. Even if you give them a good possibility or how you reach out to a particular solution, that will do. For example, I have saw people who have not exactly given the right answer, which is according to the Geeks for Geeks puzzles or something, but they have cracked the interview. It's because they have means they were able to define or they were able to show the HR the way they reached to the particular solution. So you need to have a very analytical mind or you should be able to manipulate stuff. For example, if you are giving a particular number in the beginning of the guesstimate, you should be able to reach at least close to that particular number.
So I guess that it should be clear that what is the importance. Okay, then someone is asking, is C, Smarjit is asking, is C and C++ is sufficient to clear the coding round? So I guess
Okay.
Devashish will be willing to answer this for the ITC input.
Uh-huh. Uh,
Yeah.
yeah, any one of the languages, coding languages is fine. Generally, you will see that means any of the software companies or any of the companies who ask for coding questions, they have a very high priority for the ones who know Java, because Java is an object-oriented programming language and it can be used in many of the applications, whether that is front end, back end, or any of the stuff. But C++, as it will also do, because it's also an object-oriented programming language, so it will also help you out with means in clearing the coding round. So basic knowledge of C++ will do for any of this means company that you are preparing for, whether it is a IT company, whether it's an analytics company who asks for coding in the online test, or whether it is a software company that will do.
So any other questions, guys? Okay, since so I will be like asking a few questions which I had already got to Romani ma'am. Ma'am, actually, if you asking if students should prepare for supply, but it's clear that they are not going to ask anything about supply management. But is there any chance that they will pop? There may be a chance that they may ask why, what is supply management, and how you see your fit to the company. So they should have a basic knowledge of that. Is it correct or am I wrong in this one?
No, well, as you said, it won't harm you if you have a basic knowledge. It wasn't asked to me, but there is no guarantee that the next year, this year also, they won't ask you. So just to be on the safe side, have a basic idea about supply chain, what it is. As I said, even that definition will work, and have an idea about the company. As Debashish has already said, like the annual revenue, how many people are working, stuff like this. You should have an idea about the company you're sitting for and the position you're applying for.
So that's I guess that's important that we should know everything and if the profile name is supply management, we should have a basic idea. It doesn't mean that you get a degree out of supply management. Okay, Ishika is asking what is the role of chemical engineering knowledge in the field of supply chain. That's a good question.
Okay, to answer this, I would say that in supply chain, there are various verticals, Ishika, whether you're in the factory or you're in the planning or you're in the delivery team. So the knowledge of chemical engineering solely pertains to the make, that is in the factory. Okay, that's where they are taking people from other backgrounds as well, where they do not require just chemical knowledge. For chemical knowledge, you'll be posted in factories, and there obviously, while working in a factory, you should have an idea as to what is happening in a factory, what at what temperature, what is mixing with what. So there exactly our chemical knowledge is put into use. Yes.
Okay, that's good answer to this. And Vishwas is actually, I guess you are asking about the get level, the technical knowledge should be the basic class level stuff, or you need to prepare with like gate level preparation. So for chemical engineering, I guess Romani ma'am can tell, and after that I will be telling about electrical engineering. So, ma'am, about chemical engineering, what you will say? The technical knowledge should be only to the class around the class subjects, or you should have a gate level preparation for covering the technical interview.
Okay, for this, I would say even the class taught stuffs are enough. Okay, whatever the fundamentals should be very clear. What I had done is to, since I had too less time to prepare for this, I had gone through my gate material, because I find my gate material was very concise and very it was like, in short, I had everything that was written. I had all the bullet points. I referred to my gate materials, and after that I had watched a few of the YouTube channels brush up all the knowledge of thermodynamics, mass transfer, everything that were taught to me in my second year, third year. If anything I would have forgotten, that's all. That will do. So yes, like a basic understanding of each of the fundamentals is necessary. That's all. You need not have a expert knowledge about all.
And Devashish, you can definitely tell them about the mechanical engineering level of preparation for technical interviews.
Okay. Regarding the technical interviews, they generally move around the basic concepts. For example, if you are from mechanical engineering or from any particular engineering domain, you must be clear with whatever are the basics to run a particular machine, or what are the basics on which a particular machine runs. Secondly, you should know the applications of the particular theorems or particular laws that you are learning. For example, if you are learning the first law of thermodynamics, how does it help a layman, or how does it come into uh, means use for a particular human being in a day-to-day life? So you must be able to answer such questions, because knowing everything or just learning by heart will not help unless you know what is the practical implementation or how to use that particular knowledge.
So now I will talk about my knowledge of what electrical engineering, what happened last year during placements is like electrical engineering people are always very enthusiastic about core jobs. So what happened is we stick to the core jobs, and in that meantime we forget that our core knowledge is not at par what is happening in the industry, right? So what happens is we know only what is taught in our classes, and what is taught in our classes is full theoretical to be applied in day-to-day life. And what happens is when the interviewer starts asking you about underground cables, we are still in the overhead lines. So that's the reason. I would say that's the gap between what is happening in the industry and what is being taught in our curriculum at present. So I will suggest that I will suggest you two YouTube channels if you want to excel in technical interviews, either as well as you want to crack a gate with good score. The first one is Creatrix. So you can go for Creatrix by Ankit Goel, sorry. The Creatrix, he was the like All India rank one. He had scored thrice or twice, I guess, Gate All India rank one. So he's a tutor and he teaches in the channel Creatrix, and you can refer him. And his courses will definitely make you strong. Because I am telling as for my point of view, when I started, when I was basically a very non-technical kind of data analytics kind of guy, but soon I got placement in a technical company. I had interest to know more technical stuff. So I will say that within 1 month from zero in power electronics, I scored myself 90 out of 100 in power electronics and advanced power. So basically, follow his courses if you really want to bag a core job, and don't think that your internships or you OPTCL and all, you definitely that has point, but that is limited. You get an it's not like you are getting everything within that limited time. So you need to explore what's all in, and for that you need gate level preparation for electrical engineering, quite similar to what happens in day-to-day life in our industry. So I'll say gate level preparation is must for cracking the technical as soon as possible. And any other question from you guys, or I should basically sum up the thing, and I will just give you a few pointers. Actually, I've noticed. Okay, so I think Devashish and Ma'am Ramani Ma'am will agree with me that since these are hard times and there are very less job opportunities, and like people, we need not be choosy. If you are wanting a job very badly, you want a job very badly, then remember that you should not be choosy at all. If you become choosy, then don't blame your luck that you didn't get a job or something. If you don't want to be, if you want to be choosy, make sure you're 100% in everything. If you are not, please don't be choosy in these times, because you need a job, then you have to compromise in some or other way. Okay, what is the name of the YouTube channel? Okay, I will be mentioning the name of the YouTube channel, even the links in the Telegram channel. I will be sending it, and even the chemical Romani ma'am had referred. I will be also mentioning it. No need to worry. And another thing that I will like to say is, out of what happens is when a friend gets placed, or a roommate or your very close friend gets placed, then what happens when you are not placed? You sometimes tend to get into frustration or kind of thing. Please don't get frustrated. It's like the hard times for everyone. Even few of our batch have not yet joined their companies due to this pandemic. So be calm and definitely spend your time on yourself and make develop yourself. Need not be frustrated that he or she is getting a job and I am not getting. So Swagat is asking what are the core subjects that HUL asks technical questions from. Swagat, you are from which department? Will like to know. Anyone? Swagat is from chemical. Romani ma'am, you can tell the core subjects that.
Yeah. So the core subjects that they asked questions me from was mass transfer, heat transfer, thermodynamics, fluid dynamics. Um yeah, that's all.
Okay. Anyone else? Any other question? Or we'll sum up this, and I will basically collecting the YouTube sites and what collects any book for reference from Romani ma'am and be posting in the basically in the Telegram channel. So any more other queries? I guess that's all they had to ask, and we understand that you are going to hard times. That so any I think there's something else. Okay, so thanks for joining today. And it's like I think you won't bug us all that how to do this, how to do it, because this is the that's why we organize this so that you are able to clear this stuff. As we can feel you were also in this situation last year. So yes, thank you, Romani ma'am, for finding out precious time within your day-to-day office hours and everything. And thank you, Devashish, for giving a knowledge of ITC Infotech 2. And thank you. So that means a
Thank
lot
you,
for everyone.
Vishwatma, for inviting us to the session. It was nice attending the session, and as well as it's always a pleasure working with the NITR folks, even after college.
So, thanks, guys. And so I will be like concluding this. And any queries and all, you can definitely text me or you can obviously ping me. So thank you, guys. So
Yeah,
I'm
so
ending.
thank you,
Yeah,
Vishwatma, for inviting me in. And just as Vishwatma told, guys, don't be too hard on yourself. Okay, this time is hard; it shall pass. But still, whatever you're focusing on, given your total efforts, don't leave any room for regrets later. Trust me, that will hurt like hell. Give in your best, and then let's see what happens. That's all.
so I will be like giving an example that there are people who were uncplaced the entire season of placements last year, or I've seen in senior batches. But after the placements, on campus placements, they bagged very good jobs in off campus. So you need not be worried that you will be not landing in somewhere you dreamed of. See, everyone is having tough time. So you be like calm and wait for the right time. You should, but that does not mean you should not study and all. You should study and see when your luck favors and you get signal.